15 years of trust, gone in an instant, because she didn't need proof to believe the worst.
15 years is a long time. Long enough to build habits, routines, and a quiet trust. Long enough to believe that when things go wrong, the person beside you will at least ask questions before passing judgment. I believed that right up until the night my suitcase landed at my feet and the front door slammed shut behind me. It started on an ordinary weekday evening. Nothing dramatic, no raised voices, just a tension in the air so thick you could feel it. The moment I walked into the house, I knew something was wrong. My wife stood by the kitchen counter, arms crossed. Her daughter, my stepdaughter, sat at the table, eyes red, shoulders hunched, playing the part of the victim perfectly. "We need to talk," my wife said. Her tone wasn't angry. It was final. My stepdaughter spoke first. Her voice shook as she claimed someone had been going through her personal accounts, sending messages she couldn't explain, with login attempts traced back to our home network. She said she felt uncomfortable, unsafe, and that one word, unsafe, did all the damage. I tried to be logical. I asked to see the evidence. I suggested simple explanations, maybe Wi-Fi overlap, a phishing scam, an honest mistake. I wasn't defensive or loud. I was calm because I knew I hadn't done anything wrong. But being calm looks suspicious when fear is more convincing. My wife didn't even look at me. She watched her daughter's tears, the shaking hands, the carefully timed pauses. When I asked again to see the messages, my stepdaughter clutched her phone to her chest as if I was the threat. That's when I realized this wasn't about finding the truth. It was about choosing a side. "I need you to leave," my wife said quietly. I stared at her, waiting for the rest of the sentence. For her to say, "Just for tonight," or "until we figure this out together." But all I got was silence where our 15 years of trust should have been. "You're kicking me out," I said, stating the obvious. "She's scared," my wife replied. "I can't ignore that." I wanted to scream, to ask when my words stopped mattering. When 15 years became worth less than an unproven accusation. But I could see it in her eyes, she had already made her decision. So I packed a bag. I walked out into the night without arguing or pleading. Something inside me knew that once you're painted as the villain, everything you say just adds another brushstroke to their story. I stayed with my brother. 2 hours later, the police called. They asked where I was, if I had access to the house. The questions told me a story had already been spun. When I calmly explained that I had left voluntarily and that I owned the house, the officer's tone shifted. It was subtle, but it was there, the first crack in the lie. The next morning I hired a lawyer, not to attack, but to protect myself. Silence had already been used against me once. I wasn't going to let it happen again. What we uncovered over the next week was ugly. Accounts opened in my name that I'd never seen. Charges I didn't recognize, loans I hadn't approved. My credit had been deliberately damaged over months. And the timeline? It matched exactly with when my stepdaughter had moved back into our house temporarily. The accusation wasn't born from fear. It was a strategy. The deeper we dug, the clearer it became. Someone needed me gone physically and legally before I noticed what was happening right under my own roof. When the real evidence was handed over to the authorities, things moved fast. The person helping my stepdaughter with the fraud confessed almost immediately. The truth came out and the lie collapsed in a matter of days. Then the calls started. My wife leaving frantic, apologetic messages. She said she was manipulated, that she acted out of fear for her daughter. All of that might have been true, but none of it changed what she did. She chose to believe a story that destroyed me without once asking if it even made sense. She chose emotion over evidence. Her daughter's tears over 15 years of my character. The court gave me exclusive access back to my home. My name was cleared, my credit was repaired, and the accusations were formally dismissed. Legally, I got everything back. But emotionally, I didn't want it anymore. When we finally met face-to-face in a lawyer's office, she asked if we could fix things now that the truth was out. I told her the truth came out too late. "I didn't leave because of the accusation," I said. "I left because you didn't need any proof to believe it." The divorce was quiet, just paperwork ending something that was already broken. Today the house feels different. It's lighter. It's mine again, and the silence isn't accusing me anymore. It's peaceful. People sometimes ask if I regret not fighting harder that night, not yelling or forcing her to listen, and I tell them no. Because the kind of trust that needs to be defended under interrogation isn't trust at all. The moment someone believes the worst about you without hesitation, the relationship has already chosen its own ending. I didn't lose 15 years. I just learned exactly when they stopped meaning what I thought they did.